Good morning mga kababayan! Nandito po tayo ngayon sa River Landing dito sa downtown Saskatoon. Sinusulit natin ang papatapos na summer. Yeah. So mga guys, kumusta yung summer ninyo?
Summer ko okay naman. Actually, medyo busy lang. Pero I still have some time to go to Pike Lake, Waskesiu, barbecue, mostly ganun lang naman.
Gising magpayaman.
Mapayaman kita kabuhayan.
Hashtag para sa ekonomiya. Kasi pag summer, kumbaga mas mataas yung ano ba, 'di ba? Yung
medyo peak
demand,
talaga.
demand.
Pero I still have some time naman to unwind and relax din pag
Sa akin naman, busy rin ako.
So,
tanungin niyo na ako. Busy ako.
busy.
Anong kinabisihan mo?
Okay.
Busy ako, nagta-travel ako ngayon.
Hindi
diba?
ka ulit
Kasi pagka summer, ito rin yung time na magandang mag-explore sa Canada. Punta ka sa Winnipeg, punta ka sa Edmonton, yan, saya-saya.
Sa mga favorite city mo, Joey?
Saskatchewan is in my heart. Saskatoon.
Saskatoon.
Pero masarap magpunta sa Winnipeg minsan, tsaka punta ka rin na Edmonton, mga 2 araw, 3 araw lang yan. Siyempre, tsaka may bago tayong ginagawa ngayon, nag-gym tayo.
Diba?
Zumba boy.
Zumba boy.
Okay.
Hindi ka pinagsabi dyan, ha?
Sabi kasi nabasa ko, Zumba boy. Parang Zumba boy lang.
Ikaw naman, Dex, ikaw.
Buti pa kayo nakakaingit kayo sa mga ginagawa sa summer. Well, this year kasi medyo naging busy ako, so nasa mall lang ako kasi para sa mga Filipino in Saskatchewan, it's an information for you dahil nagbukas po tayo ng Mama's Best Food Court sa may Lawson Heights Mall. So for the last 2 months, busy tayo kaya hindi ako nakapag-explore outside Saskatchewan. So ano specialty nung stall na yun sa mall? It's more on Filipino food and we also offer yung syempre yung mga product ng Mama's Best.
Malita ko, laging mahabang pila daw dyan.
Correct, lalo na kapag dumarating na yung 30 minutes before closing time. Bakit tayo 50%?
At hindi lang yun.
Kaya para sa kanin, nakakarating lagi na.
Last minute shopping.
4:30 pa lang nakabag na ako. Hindi lang yun, tsaka meron pang kuwek-kuwek. Kuwek-kuwek, grabe. Dami yan.
Actually, yung mga pinupuntahan ng mga tao, which is really good.
Ikaw na papayagani,
Hindi naman sa pagmamayabang, pero tayo yung naging pavilion manager ng Philippines Folk Fest.
Wow, that's good.
As usual, syempre yung Folk Fest is a showcase of cultures, different cultures. So yung Pilipino, nagbida rin ng ating kultura. So, pagkain, sayawan. Pero this year, nag-showcase tayo ng jeepney. Alam niyo bang may jeepney sa Saskatoon?
Wow.
Hindi nga lamang siya ma-register
First
sa,
yan, ano?
sa SGI. I think it has been there for
3 years,
ilang 4 years taon ago.
Mm-hmm.
Pero we brought it back this year. Ang importante kasi doon, yung jeepney is a symbol of our ingenuity and symbol of our industry. So, yan ang magandang pakita natin sa ating mga kababayan na Canadians.
Napunta rin ako sa Folk Fest at talagang kahanga-hanga yung performance ng Kumintang Dance Ensemble. Talagang you'll be proud as a Pilipino pag nakita mo sila nag-perform.
Especially daw yung tinikling at may mga audience participation.
The food was wala namang nabalian.
Very delicious.
Piniipit lang na pa.
Pati yung pagkain napakasarap. Marami lalo na yung patok na patok yung pagkain natin. Hindi lang sa mga Pilipino, pati din sa mga foreigner na pumunta ron. Kasi sino nga ba naman na hindi nakakilala sa mga Filipino food, di ba? So kung
pansit, adobo,
barbecue.
Balita ko yung barbecue,
Mama's Best daw
yun ah.
Diba? It's one of our, kumbaga, nag-volunteer din tayo to give that. Yeah, so congratulations kay Gani for looking forward po tayo doon.
Congrats,
Thank
kuya.
you, thank you. Marami tayong dapat pasalamatan dyan. May mga sponsors ng Philippine Pavilion, mayroong mga vendors na nandun.
Yes.
Siyempre maraming volunteers. At siyempre lahat ng mga pumasok doon tumangkilik, bumili ng pagkain, bumili ng mga souvenirs. Maraming salamat po sa inyo.
Alright.
Totoo yan. Tsaka basta pag alam niyo, pag Pinoy nagtutulungan, sigurado nagiging successful ang mga events kagaya na nga ng Folk Fest na to, no? And speaking of, I would like to, of events, I would like to also thank Father Fernando Suarez ng Missionaries of Mary, Mother of the Poor for visiting Saskatoon noong last August 22nd and 23rd kasi nagbigay siya ng healing mass para sa mga deboto. Actually, alam nyo, hindi lang Katolikong Pilipino ang nandun. Lahat ng debotong Katoliko nandun to celebrate healing, to celebrate yung kanilang faith,
So he came
renewal
all
of
the way
faith.
from the Philippines.
Yes, he came from the Philippines. At the same time, nagdala siya ng magandang balita sa atin. Kasi yung development din ng kanilang community sa Occidental Mindoro, pinakita rin nila sa atin how they progress after nung bumisita sila rito. Kaya talagang maganda. Mamaya, further to our show, papakita ko sa inyo yung full details. Nakapanayan po siya, nakapanayan po siya. Face to face kami dalawa. Eh,
Oo, di ba?
Well,
Kasama pang masahe ng paan.
Totoo ba yun?
Oo.
Talaga?
Bakit nagtikit na?
Hindi napagod.
Okay. So, you know what? It was indeed a very memorable experience, Joey. Gaya nga nasabi ni Father Suarez, we are responsible for our own happiness. And for our episode today, mga Kapinoy Channel, we will witness how our guests find their true happiness. Or simply put, they decided to be happy. To be happily in love, kahit na galing sila sa hashtag magkabilang mundo.
Wow, lolim naman
malalim
mo, kabilang
naman.
mundo.
Oo.
Parang, parang aldab lang ang dating. Hashtag may forever na parang, pabebe way.
Pero when we say magkabilang mundo, ito yung mga mixed marriages, ano?
Yes, tama yan.
When we say mixed marriages, ito yung may Pilipino na
Definitely Filipino isa.
nakapangasawa ng ibang nationality.
Yeah.
Yan, yun ang pag-uusapan kasi magandang topic yan dahil ano ba ang sa loob ng topic na ito pag-uusapan natin yung mga kanilang pinagdadaanan when it comes to dealing kasi siyempre alam naman natin na when you are from different worlds parang east meets west, di ba?
Yes.
Ano yon, may iba tayong paniniwala, beliefs, practices na tingnan natin kung paano nila ito na pag-uusapan at na-work out bilang mag-asawa, no?
That's true.
Diba?
That's true. Sigurado magiging interesting talaga ang topic natin ngayon. Kaya ano pang inaantay natin? So mga kababayan, sit back and relax and welcome to Pinoy Channel! Mga kababayan, nandito pa rin po tayo sa River Landing kasama si Joey Amor.
Ay, thank you Kuya. Hello, kamusta po kayo mga Kapinoy Channel?
Oh, madalas ka ba dito sa River Landing, Joey?
Kuya, alam mo masarap dito. Ang masaya kasi sa River Landing, yung afternoons. Kasi pagka nandito ka sa hapon, lalo na pag sunset na, ang gandang tignan ng sunset. At the same time, makikita mo yung calm waters ng river. Ang ganda niya.
Diba?
Ikaw po ba Kuya Jeric? Ano ba ang pinagkakaabalaan mo?
Siyempre naman, dinadala ko ng dalawang babae sa buhay ko. Siyempre, asawa ko at saka yung aking anak. Siyempre, pinapanood namin yung Prairie Lily kumisan. At doon, naliligo sa Althea.
Wow. So talagang marami kang quality time na ini-spend sa pamilya mo. No?
Oo, maraming quality time.
Yeah.
Katulad din ng mga inimbitahan nating mga guests ngayong araw na to, no? Nag-imbita tayo ng mga couples na may Filipino, non-Filipino at para maintindihan ano ba talaga ang nangyayari sa isang relasyon na magkaibang nationality.
Yeah, actually Kuya, akmang-akma yan sa topic natin today na dahil sa mixed marriage nga na ating topic, ano? Kasi biruin mo, sabi nga dito is East meets West.
Paano
East
North at South?
meets West.
Diba?
North meets
South.
South. And lahat na. Kanya-kanya nag-meet na sila, no? At alam mo ba Kuya, trivia lang, no?
Diba?
Based sa Statistics Canada or StatsCan 2011, may naitalang 360,000 na mixed marriages. And that was, imagine, 2011. And this time, 2015, for sure the numbers have climbed up. No?
Talaga hindi nakagulat yan, Joey, kasi ang Canada talaga ay isang multicultural society. So talagang
normal na makakita tayo ng mga couples na hindi pinag-iwalay ng nationality, edad, or anumang status sa buhay.
Talaga palang when you're in love, you don't see anything, no? You see the everything good to that person and everything like it's parang the same person, parang reflection of you, di ba? Ang sabi nga ni Nicholas Sparks, we fell in love despite our differences.
Wow! Saan galing yun, ha? Nicholas Sparks, ha?
Nicholas Sparks. Alam ko Nicholas Cage. Well,
okay.
ngayon, titinan talaga natin kung totoo ang quote na yan, na sabi na we fell in love despite our differences. At ngayon, titinan natin at panonoorin natin ang mga na-interview natin at ating mga bisita. Actually, si Kuya Gani at saka si Ernest, we set them para ma-interview nila ang ating mga naggagwapuan, nagagandahang couples. Sa ating sweet couples.
Sa Colonsay at Saskatoon.
Isa sa Colonsay at saka isa sa Saskatoon. Tara po, panoorin natin ito.
Welcome back to Pinoy Channel. At this point, we are in the home of Bob and Dina Schmitsky. And of course, their son, Sean. We're here to tackle our topic for today's episode, which is mixed marriage. We'd like to introduce our guest for our today's episode. We have Bob,
Hi.
Dina, and Sean. So let me start with my first question. Tell us your love story.
Our love
How did it all start?
Okay. I knew Dina's cousin who lives in Calgary. We were friends. And one summer when I was out visiting, her and my sister-in-law, who's also a Filipino, they were asking me, would you ever consider marrying a Filipino girl? And I said, yeah, I hadn't thought about it, but I had no problem with it. So the next day she came back with a bunch of pictures of a whole bunch of different girls, and she said, "Oh, do you like any of these girls here?" And yeah, I do. And who's this one? And who's that one? And we picked out Dina's picture.
So she stood out from among us.
Yes.
So so at that time Dina was still in the Philippines.
Oh yes, but she had no knowledge of me yet, and so Merle, that's her cousin, she said, well, if I send your address to this girl, would you consider writing back and forth? And I said, sure. So sure enough, 2 weeks later, I got a letter from the Philippines. And it was Dina introducing herself, and we started writing back and forth the old-fashioned way.
So how long did it last? The exchange of...
Well, we wrote back and forth for a few months, and then I decided this is no good, because it took 16 days for a letter to go one way.
I would imagine.
Yeah. So I went out and bought a computer, and I learned how to email, and then we were able to write back and forth every day.
Quickly, yeah.
Yeah, so that went on for 2 years, and then I finally went to the Philippines to meet up with her.
Yeah, that was 2006.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
his first
Interesting.
visiting in the Philippines. So yeah.
So did you two get married, or how did it...
Well, I would go back to the Philippines for a couple of more years, back and forth, and then we eventually got married in the Philippines. And then it was another 2 years after we got married before she was able to get to Canada.
We're interested in that process. Like, I think a lot of Filipinos would like to understand the process of like how of her being brought to Canada. What was the process? Like, was it frustrating? Was it straightforward?
Oh yeah.
It was frustrating.
Yes, it's a lot of work, a lot of patience, and then the system in our government. You have to go back there, come back there, and very slow, and the lineup is so very long, and then lots of mistakes. So I have to come back and forth, not only 2 times but many times, just to get a marriage contract.
And you said that process took about
2 years, yeah.
Okay, so and then when you came with Sean?
Yep.
Yes, that's right.
So being new in Canada, Dina and Sean, what were the challenges? I mean, you come to a little town with what's the population?
About 500 people.
About 500 people.
Coming from a city of 5
Coming from
million.
exactly. How is it? What were the challenges?
Oh, there's a lots of challenge, guys. I would say finding a job. That's one thing, and I don't drive, so that's a big challenge for me.
No habal or
No,
tricycle.
nothing, no jeepney. Yeah, and then also if I go full time if I go to work full time, I have to take care of Sean because he's here in Canada. You can live without an adult.
Oh, how old was he at that time?
Oh, he was 11 years old at the
Okay.
time, so I have to be here before the school end. After school, he has to come back here, and of course, I have to take care of him because he's still young at the time. Another thing is the weather. It's
cold.
Very cold. Until now, I still complain about, it's cold. Even like
I think
now.
everybody is. Was language a barrier between the two of you at all?
Not really.
For me, yes, it is. It's because I speak Bisaya all the time, and to speak English for me is very hard. Like every day, like my tongue is just stuck in my, I don't know. It's just so difficult, and to find a proper word to use for to make it understand.
But let's not get more serious. So, what are the common fights?
That's something that I've found is lacking. We don't fight. Like, we have disagreements, but we have yet to have a knockdown, drag them out, yelling, screaming match or anything like that.
Yeah, we don't.
Never.
And we sometimes we misunderstand to each other, and then we will all. What I do is just keep silence, and then just and then later on, and back again, like as normal as and we will talk about it after.
It is almost in the DNA of every Filipino to crave for dried fish.
Oh.
I have heard a lot of funny things about that. So food in general, or the craving for dried fish, or some weird food that Filipinos eat. How is it handled in this household?
I ran across lots of food in the Philippines that I couldn't eat. There was just no way. A balut is one. Couldn't do it. And blood. There's a few of them like that. I couldn't do it. But Dina likes lots of things that are really strange to me, and I don't have a problem with it.
Except
The dried fish thing.
It smells.
Yeah, it's
I guess even Sean is complaining.
yeah. It's just the smell when it's cooking. It's just too much. But so she eats her dried fish when I'm gone.
Yes, right. That's what I'm doing now. Yeah, I was so I feel sorry about it when he said, "Oh, honey, it's really awful." Yeah, so from that on I didn't cook while he's here in the house, so I stopped it.
But you do have dried fish in the
Oh yes,
Oh yeah,
I do.
yeah.
I still have.
We have no qualms about anything like that, and I like lots of the Filipino food.
So, is there any chance of you living in the Philippines? You like the Philippines?
Oh, I love the Philippines. As a matter of fact, when we were there last year, we bought some land there.
Okay. Is that a plan for an eventual?
Well, it's always in the back of our minds that we would like to build a house there and be able to go there for at least a part of the
winter,
year.
or?
Yeah.
So, have you adopted to the Filipino culture?
Oh yeah.
How about the lifestyle? Do you think you would be able to, and the way of living?
I find it frustrating that you have to pay under the table sometimes to get things done. I wasn't used to that.
There's
And
nothing like that in here.
when I first went there, I used to kind of rebel against it. But if you do, nothing gets done. So you just have to follow along and play the game and pay your money, and things happen.
How is the relationship between you and Sean?
I think we do all right. I get kind of upset sometimes, but I mean, he's just a 17-year-old and up and coming, and I'm not used to having a 17-year-old around, and so I have lots of adjustments to make in that way. But he's a good kid, and he works hard at school, and and it's nice to have them around.
So what kind of activities do you do together as a family?
Mostly riding our bikes.
Oh,
Yeah,
Motorcycle.
we're
I
a
guess.
motorcycle family, so we spend lots of time doing motorcycle-orientated things.
so how long have you guys been married again?
8 years and 5 months.
That long, hey?
Mhm.
By the North American standard, that's a lot of time. What can you advise to the other couples like you who are mixed races? To stay that long and to stay stronger?
Okay, first you have to know your husband, knowing each other, what it's don't and like and what things like that, and then don't mess around when he's doing something or bugging him. And then you take care of him and your son. Be yourself, and then enjoy your relationship. That's all I could say.
Bob?
Yeah, being family orientated has really been a big thing because I've never had much of a family before.
So being family oriented is very a Filipino trait.
Yes, and that was one of the things that I really liked.
Welcome to Pinoy Channel. Ako po si Ernest and kasama ko ngayon a very lovely couple, Mary Chris and Craig Clements. Welcome to Pinoy Channel, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, napag-usapan rin natin about the mixed marriages. So, a perfect example I would say is itong napakagandang couple na nasa harap natin ngayon, si Chris and Mary Chris and Craig here. So, just a brief story here, you guys. How did you two met?
We met through some mutual friend, and we met on a blind date, and I courted Mary Chris for about a year. And we've been married, and we have a beautiful daughter together, and we've been together for 5 years.
Wow, it's 5 years already, wow. And going strong, eh?
You bet.
Okay, so this is a question for Mary Chris naman. So how are the two different cultures being handled?
For the two of us, we make sure that we have a constant communication with each other, and also we have this respect for each other's culture. And if we kind of brainstorm and also combine those cultures together on how to deal with the situation, or what will suit to that situation.
So this is a very interesting question for the two of you. So I know there's in terms of food. So what are the kind of food that are being prepared in this house? So
the main food that we're having right now is Filipino food. We're very fortunate to have Mary Chris' parents here to help take care of her daughter Maya. So traditionally, we mainly have Filipino food, but we also have other foods as well, North American or Chinese. So we're very flexible.
Flexible. So what's your favorite Filipino dish, Craig?
There's quite a few, but probably my favorite would be pancit.
Pancit? Wow, pancit is one of my favorites. Yeah. What else?
I like dinuguan, I believe.
Dinuguan? I call it chocolate soup.
Oh, okay.
But for some people it's exotic.
Yeah.
But it's glad to hear you like dinuguan. Yeah.
Yeah, with puto.
With puto, yeah.
Yeah.
It's always a partner between the dinuguan and puto on the side.
Yeah.
I like most of the Filipino food. Maybe the one dish I don't like is curry.
Okay.
Probably the only dish I really
Is it because that you mentioned before that there's an eggplant in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, Craig can cook some Filipino dish. Like
wow.
he tried adobo, tinola.
Tinola, yeah.
And then one time, sisig.
Sisig.
Well, he just followed the instructions on how to cook it. But
Okay,
it was good.
you have to teach me how to make sisig next time, okay?
I'll do that. I heard very good with Filipino beer. So
wow. All right. So, as a couple, from the Philippines and here in Canada. Is there any arguments that you guys, you know, disagreement to sometimes, or if there's any?
I would say it's not an argument. I would say it's like like disagreement. Like it's just like common marriage problems, but we always talk about it, and we don't go to bed without resolving the conflict. Yeah.
That's good. So lastly here, for Mary Chris, so what is your message to a very nice gentleman here, Craig?
First of all, like I'm really thankful for having him as my husband and a good father to our daughter. And also what I'm gonna tell him is just to be always truthful and honest in our relationship, and also the respect with each other. And I know he's been patient with our relationship, and then I am asking more patience or longer patience so that this marriage will be more successful.
What about you, Craig? Do you have any message for Mary Chris?
I think the biggest message is to embrace our differences. We come from very different backgrounds, so just something we should celebrate and really appreciate. And then also just always to be honest and loving, and just to take care of each other.
Wow, sweet naman. Hashtag may forever talaga dito. Oh, yung dalawa na to. But anyways, maraming salamat Mary Chris and Craig for accommodating our show today. Hopefully we hear more from you soon, or makabisita ulit kami dito. At yun po, at magbabalik pa ang Pinoy Channel.
Welcome back po sa Pinoy Channel. Ako po si Dex at nandito tayo ngayon sa pinakabagong segment ng Cooking with Dex, brought to you by Mama's Best. Nandito po tayo ngayon sa Mall of Lawson Heights kasi nandito po itinayo ang pinakaunang Mama's Best Foods location. At ngayon, makakasama po uli natin si Chef Buddy Amodia na nakasama po natin noon. At ngayon, ituturo niya sa atin kung paano magluto ng Bicol Express. Ang Bicol Express ay isa sa mga pinakapaboritong putahe ng mga Pilipino, lalo na ng mga Bicolano, mga mahihilig sa maanghang. Ang Bicol Express ay nanggaling sa isa sa mga probinsya ng Pilipinas, where tinatawag natin Bicol, na mga tao ron ay talagang mahilig sa maanghang. So ano pang inaantay natin? Samahan natin si Buddy Amodia at tuturuan tayo kung paano magluto ng Bicol Express. Hello po ulit mga kababayan, so nandito tayo ngayon at kasama natin si Chef Buddy Amodia ulit. Siya po ang magtuturo sa atin ngayon kung paano lutuin ang Bicol Express. So sa nakikita nyo, nandito na po nakaready ang ingredients. So papaliwanag po sa atin ni Chef kung paano ito simulan at kung paano ito lutuin ngayong araw nito. So welcome back Chef Buddy Amodia, kumusta?
Thank you! Thank you. Salamat sa pag-imbita ulit sa Cooking with Dex. Isa pong, again, isang karangalan na mapabilang ulit sa isang channel ng Pilipino dito sa Saskatoon. Yeah. Well, anyway, ang lulutuin natin ngayon ay isang Bicol Express na isa sa mga paboritong pagkain ng mga Pilipino. Kahit hindi ako Bicolano, pero dating may, alam nyo na. Pero ituturo ko lang sa inyo kung paano yung basic na pagluluto ng Bicol Express, okay? Okay, ito yung mga ingredients ng ating lulutuin ngayon, yung Bicol Express Dex. No? So, meron tayong garlic, at saka yung fresh garlic natin, at saka yung fresh ginger natin. Meron din tayong sili, no? Meron tayong pang-amhang, tapos meron tayong red onion, meron tayong red bell pepper, at saka na pula, sili na pula pala yun. We have also the, what do you call this one, long beans dito sa Canada, and also this one. So, we also have this, naka-blanch na siya para mabilis yung pagluluto din natin. Pero pag sa bahay, pwedeng fresh. Oh, pwedeng fresh. Pero ito lang is. So, meron din tayong pangsariling atin na patis, meron din tayong gata. No? Kasi pag Bicol Express, kailangan may gata. So, ngayon, umpisahan na natin yung pagluluto natin. No? Mayroon din tayong cooking oil for this one. So, turn on our gas now.
Okay. So, ang pinakauna natin, ang mantika.
Pinakauna natin gawin is ilagay yung mantika. Just 1 to 2 tablespoons. Okay. So, next natin gawin hayaan natin siyang uminit ng konti, tapos isusuti natin itong garlic and ginger. Together na lang siya.
Okay, so pwede pagsamahin yung ginger natin at saka yung bawang.
Kung gusto nyong tanongin bakit natin siya inuna yung garlic, para yung garlic at saka ginger, para yung katas niya, isa, lumalabas siya sa pagluluto. Isa rin yun sa bibigay ng flavor. Okay? So the next is itong red onion. Ang red onion kasi is, ito yung ingredients na may malaking amount ng sugar. So mag-produce din siya ng tamis. Okay?
Compared sa yellow onion o yung white onion, kasi iba't iba yung gamit nun, di ba?
Parts ganitong putay, kailangan mo ng red onion. Kasi madalas yung white onion, ginagamit na naman siya sa salad. Tapos, ito yung sili.
So, kung makikita niyo sa screen natin, papakita natin mamaya sa inyo yung amount ng ingredients na ginamit natin ngayon para sa mga televiewers natin na nanonood, alam niyo kung ano yung sukat ng ingredients na kasama sa Bicol Express.
Just 1 to 3 minutes lang yung cooking natin. Tapos ilalagay na natin.
Yeah. And again, ito yung bill lunch. Ibig sabihin ng lunch, Chef, paki-explain nga yung ibig sabihin.
Yung ibig sabihin ng lunch natin is niluto siya ng hindi buo. Balay half cook siyang sinasabi para at least madali na lang. Ngayon, pwede nyo rin itong gawin sa bahay. Kung wala kayong ginagawa sa gabi, pwede kayong mag-lunch para kinabukasan, luto, mabilis na lang. Lalo na pag... So, itatakpan lang natin sa konti. Para lang yung evaporation ng usok niya talagang nanunuot dun sa karne. No? So, just lang 2-3 minutes, that's it. And then, tapos natin gawin, ilagay natin yung gata. Okay?
Siyempre, pag Bicol, kilalang kilala yan sa gata.
Gata.
Yeah. Ayun na isa sa mga nagpapasarap dyan. Ito, Chef, ba't hindi natin sinabay ito kanina?
Ano yan? Pang-garnish natin yung sa ibabaw. Para pagtingin lang ng mga tao, Bicol Express, maanghang to kasi may sili siya, di ba? So, pakuloy nun natin konti. Tapos isasabay na rin natin siya ito. Pero ang una natin gawin is lagay yung lahat ng mga pangtimpla niya, ilalagay natin, tapos lalagyan natin siya ng cornstarch. Ang tawag namin dito sa culinary term is slurry. So, ang ratio nitong slurry na to is, kung halimbawa gagamit kayo ng cornstarch, so 1 tablespoon of cornstarch is 1 tablespoon of water. So, para magkaroon talaga siya ng thin texture. Okay?
Parang 1:1.
So, halimbawa, nakikita nyo na, di ba? So, ito yung mga sikreto ng mga Pilipinong mga pangpanipla natin.
So, nandyan yung asin, nandyan yung beef cubes ba yung nakita ko?
Beef cubes, meron
or pork cubes, sorry.
Ay, yeah, pork cubes. Tapos, pinch of salt lang siya. Tapos, 2 tablespoon of patis. Ganun lang. Yan. Okay? So, ang nangyayari dyan, kumukulo na siya, di ba? So, wag natin siyang hayaang kumulo ng masyado kasi yung magsisiparate yung coconut milk sa tubig. So, ilalagay na natin yung slurry natin.
Yung slurry and yung cornstarch at yung water.
Pampalambot. Okay? So, kung nakikita nyo na siyang lumambot, ilalagay na natin siya.
Difference, ano?
Oo. Ilalagay na natin siya. The reason kasi na hindi ko sinama sa pagluluto yung long beans na tinatawag nila, kasi gusto ko siya crunchy pag kinakain. Okay? Tapos hahaluin natin siya.
Tsaka hindi maganda kapag kayo lutong-luto yung gulay kasi nandun yung nutrients niya, di ba?
Tama, tama. So, parang ganyan lang. Napakasimple lang, di ba? So again, Dex, salamat sa pag-imbita ulit. Kala ko kasi nakalimutan mo na eh. Ilang buwan na ba?
Siguro mga 2 months. Yeah, busy ka daw eh. May mga ginagawa ka daw aktibidades eh. Balita sa akin eh.
Alam mo naman, busy-busyhan lang.
So, Chef, yung tanong ko pala sa'yo kanina, bakit mataas yung bakit mataas yung sombrero ng mga chef natin?
Anong gusto mong sagot? Anong gusto mong sagot?
Ano yung sagot mo sa akin kanina?
Sabi, ang talk kasi namin is nababatay namin yan sa mga posisyon namin. So nag-uumpisa yan sa maliit, pataas ng pataas. Ngayon, pag magiging executive chef ka na, ayun, mataas na rin yung talk mo. Pero, pwede rin magsuot ng mababang talk. Pwede ka rin hindi naman ano kasi nasa mataas na position.
Oo, so dahil mataas yung ano mo, yung talk mo, mataas yung position mo.
Saka kami yung mga frustrated na santo. Takpan na natin, at least lumutong-lutong lang konti yung long beans natin, yung gulay natin.
At saka yung hipon, nakita ko balat na kanina. So, nabibili rin yan na frozen sa mga grocery stores. No?
So, ayan, luto na. So, pwede na natin kain dito.
Alright.
Ito yung Bicol Express natin. Ayan na.
Oo, so toppings lang talaga yung tatlong yan, ha? Yan ang gusto ko sa mga chef eh. May mga pan-design sila sa mga regular na putahe natin eh.
Nakaka-excited, saka nakakaganda. Appetizing yun eh. Diba? So dapat, kung gaano siya kasarap tingnan, gaano din siya kasarap kainin.
Alright, so ano pa yan? Tikman natin ngayon. Tingnan natin kung talagang mapapa-express hut-hut tayo sa lutong Bicol Express. So ito na ating finished product. So chef, lipat natin sa pan para ma-serve natin mamaya, no? Pero syempre, bago natin ipatikim sa mga customers natin, kailangan muna natin tikman kung masarap ba talaga ang luto ng chef na to. So sa mga Canadian, ang paliwanag ko rito, this is a Bicol Express, one of the provinces in the Philippines where spicy foods are well known. That's why tinawag siyang Bicol Express. Express is like, woohoo! Yun yung ibig sabihin. So tikman natin.
Tikman natin yan.
Naninam talaga ng pork. Na kahit na binlanch, malinamnam pa rin.
Pero yung sabaw ng blanch yung pork, huwag nyo itapon. Doon lang siya. Kasi doon siya gagamitin nyo rin. Para hindi siya masyadong sumuparit yung lasa niya sa pork niya.
At nandun yung anghang. At ang amoy ng sili. Alright. Express na express talaga. So maraming salamat chef sa again, pagbisita mo sa akin dito sa Mama's Best. Alright? So, Cooking with Dex, panoorin niyo po kami sa mga susunod naming episode. At maaaring kasama po uli natin si Chef Buddy Moja kasi marami tayong natututunan sa kanya. So, again, thank you so much, Chef.
Thank you so
Sana
much.
kasama ka po uli namin sa susunod na episode.
Walang problema.
At mabigyan mo kami ng bagong lutuin ba na may papakita natin sa ating mga viewers.
Okay.
Okay, so maraming salamat po ulit sa panonood nyo ng Pinoy Channel. Again, ako po ulit si Dex. And ito po ang ating segment na Cooking with Dex, brought to you by Mama's Best.
Isang magandang araw po uli sa inyo mga kababayan at welcome po sa Pinoy Channel. Andito po kami ngayon sa Old Bishop's Room ng St. Paul's Co-Cathedral, Saskatoon. At kapanayan po namin ngayon ang ating healing priest ng mga Pilipino, si Father Fernando Suarez. Father, magandang araw po.
Magandang araw naman sa inyo.
Yan, so Father, tanong ko lang po, may mga sinisub questions lang po ako sa inyo. So, ano lang po. Una ko pong tanong is, kamusta po ang biyahe niyo dito, Father, at saka yung healing sessions po na ginawa ninyo dito sa Saskatoon? Kamusta naman po ang nag-experience ninyo?
Very smooth ang aming travel. Kahapon, masyadong malamig, pero ngayon naman ay magandang araw. Dito yung healing natin dito, very successful lagi. Napakarami mga kababayan natin dumalo. Puno-puno ang simbahan. Tutuwa naman ako sa suporta ng mga kababayan natin, yung Santo Niño Prayer Group, mga Couples for Christ, Knights of Columbus. Halos napaka-successful, napaka-organized.
Kasi balita ko po, di ba, Father, ito po yung ikalawang taon nang punta nyo dito. No? Kasi last year, wala. Tapos every other 2 years, no? Parang ganon.
Every 2 years.
Every 2 years dito si Father. Binibisita tayo. Pinagagaling ang ating mga karamdaman. Ang pinakamaganda kasi dito, si Father hindi lang siya pang Pilipinong Katoliko. Lahat ng mga debotong Katoliko na nagpunta dito para makita si Father Suarez, ma-experience yung kanyang healing presence, nako talaga naman pong kakaiba. Diba? So Father, ang tanong ko po sa inyo naman this time is, kailan niyo po na-discover yung inyo pong gift of healing? Galing sa ating...
Bata pa ako noon, may na-experience ko na ang gift, no? Na mayroon ng kakaibang regalo ang Diyos. Siguro 16 years old ako noon. Pero hindi ko naman ginamit. Naging engineer ako, nagtrabaho, saka pa ako nag-seminaryo. Tapos, yun nga, nung ako'y pari na gamit, lalo gamit na gamit.
Oh, wow. Talagang ginamit. Answer na pala ng call si Father, no? Pero Father, usapan naman po natin dito. Sabi dito, with so many activities po na ginagawa nyo at saka sa inyo pong parish, no? At saka yung pag-travel nyo po sa Canada, aside from doon po, paano po ninyo na-manage na maging active pa rin po kayo? Kasi kanina, ang dami po nun, mga libo-libo yata ang mga deboto yung nagpunta doon kanina, di ba? Tsaka kahapon.
Oo. Unang-una kailangan maging healthy body and soul and spirit. So, you have to pray, kailangan magdasal. Kailangan ka rin maging healthy. So, nag-exercise ako. I'm into sports.
Ano naman pong sporty father? Parang balita ko, active eh.
Active ako sa tennis. Kung tutuusin, yung mga tournaments kami. Halos bawat lugar na puntahan ko, may Father Suarez Cup. Nagpo-promote ako ng tennis. Sa Pilipinas, may National Tennis Tournament for Priests. No? Meron ding International Tennis Tournament. So, nakakapagtaka niya na kakaya ko pang maglaro. Kasi integral part yan ng buhay ko. Parang healthy mind, healthy body, healthy soul.
Talagang balance of everything na po. Tapos I understand, Father, po na part of your travel is also to promote your community. Na po? Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, unang-una, nagkaroon ako ng foundation, no? Na para tumulong sa mga kababayan natin may hirap in a little way. Seminarista ako noon dito. Tapos maya-maya, lumaki itong foundation. Ako'y pari na. Yeah, ang foundation, para tumulong sa mahihirap. At yun nga, may community kami ngayon ng mga pare, seminarista, madre, na missionaries of Mary, Mother of the Poor. Nandoon kami ngayon sa Iling Island, no? Isang lugar sa Occidental Mindoro kung saan napakahirap ng lugar. Pero sa maliit na pamamaraan, nagtayo kami ng clinic, ng daycare center, ng feeding program. Yan. Meron kami Mary Mother of the Poor. Nakapagtayo kami ng building, simbahan, na ipasolar namin ang buong isla. In charge din ako sa mga mangyan.
Oh, okay.
Hanggat maaari, at saka sa mga aboriginal people sa atin sa Mindoro. Tapos meron kong din kami tinatayong healing center ngayon sa Davao. Sa Panabo, sa Mindanao.
Oh, wow. Dami pala, no? So, pag wala po kayo dun sa Occidental, dito kayo sa Davao. Kung wala, dito kayo sa Canada, no?
That's right.
Busy si Father. Pero aside from that, sa sobrang pagka-busy niya, meron pa rin siyang mga Father Suarez Cup. Tennis. No? Wow, galing. So, Father, tanong ko po, if you want to know more about the Mary Mother of the Poor community, no po, saan po ba natin sila pwedeng tignan or hanapin?
Meron kami website, no? www.fatherfernando.org. Wala po akong Facebook at hindi po kami nagsusolicit sa site ng Facebook. Nakakalungkot nito, may mga nagpe-fake na kahit yung foundation namin. May yung fatherfernando.org, hindi po ako yun. Yung fatherfernando.com, ako yun.
Okay.
So, kailangan lang pong malinaw.
So, fatherfernando.com ang dapat ang puntahan. .org. Okay, para makita namin kung anong yung mga projects, no? Fatherfernando.com para makita yung mga latest projects and developments ng community ng Mary Mother of the Poor. Tama po?
Missionaries of Mary.
Missionaries of Mary, Mother of the Poor.
Yung Mary Mother of the Poor Foundation ay mga lay.
Okay.
Yung missionaries, mga religious.
Okay. So, missionaries of the Mary Mother of the Poor. Okay. So, Father, last na lang po. Ano po ang message niyo po, Father, to all our brothers and sisters in Christ here in Saskatchewan and in Canada?
Yan, yung mga taga-Saskatchewan, no? Nakita niyo naman ang pagmamahal ng Diyos. Yung nakita niyo naman kung paano siya magpagaling. Huwag tayo lang mawawala ng pag-asa. Yung ang message ko kanina sa misa na tayo dapat ay matibay ang pananampalataya. Magdasal tayo lagi. Ang Diyos ay nasa atin.
Maraming salamat po, Father Suarez, for giving us the opportunity to meet you po at makapanayan po kayo ng personal. Kita nyo talaga naman pong tinapos muna namin ang healing ni Father. Ang dami pong na-touch na hearts, ang dami pong na-touch na yung kanilang faith is, their faiths were renewed at saka their spirits were somehow uplifted because of the presence of Father Suarez. Sa pagbabalik po ng Pinoy Channel, marami po kaming sorpresa sa inyo. Ang tabayanan nyo po yan, tumutok po lamang.
Welcome back to Pinoy Channel. Nandito po ako ngayon sa rehearsal ng kauna-unahang Saskatchewan Fashion Show event. And also, kasama ko rin ngayon ang dalawa sa mga lead organizers ng event na ito, si Chris Asuncion at saka si Weng Gamito.
Magandang umaga po. Kami po ay nagpapasalamat sa pagkakataon na binigay niyo sa amin dito sa Pinoy Channel. Ito kasama po namin si Ernesto, si Maring Weng para sa aming event.
Yep. Well, let's talk about the event, Chris. So, tell us more about kung ano ba ang first Saskatchewan Fashion Show event.
So far, napakaganda ng ating ibabahagi sa ating mga kabataan Pilipino, lalo na dito sa Saskatoon, all over Saskatchewan. Ito ay nagsimula sa aming mga kasamahan na sila Maring Weng, si Gambito, at ang iba pa natin mga kaibigan. Nag-usap-usap kami para ipakita sa ating mga kababayan ang kakayanan natin mga Pilipino, ang talento natin, paano rumampa, pakita ang ating pananamit sa mga bagay na karapat-dapat. At na pwede nating ilaban sa ibang lugar, tulad sa Toronto, sa beauty pageant doon. Kaya itong segment na to ay para kumuha tayo ng mga talented na Pilipino for the fashion show.
So Chris, ano ba ang mga qualification or say standard para maging model? Lalo tayo mga Pilipino, aminin natin hindi, medyo maliit tayo eh. So paano ba natin makakompete yung mga counterpart natin?
Napakasimple lang yan. Ang isa sa mga bagay sa pagiging modelo, sa pagiging actor, kailangan disiplina. Nag-workout ka, magaling ka magdala ng damit, hindi ka mahiyain. Ayun ang mga qualified na pagiging modelo o pagiging actor dito sa Canada. So, ang payo lang, kung gusto mo maging modelo, disiplina, dedication sa sarili, at pay attention all the time, lalo na sa mga nagtuturo.
Yun, talaga naman. Pwede na ba ako, Chris?
Pwede.
Try natin yan, push natin. Pak na pak.
Pak na pak.
Pwede.
Model.
Model na model.
Model na model.
Anyways, Weng, invite mo naman yung mga televiewers natin sa first Saskatchewan Fashion Show event to be held in Martinsville. Tama ba? Okay.
So, mga kapamilya at kapuso namin dyan na nanonood ng Pinoy Channel, gusto po namin kayo invite sa aming first Filipino Saskatchewan Fashion Show event happening on September 27 at Northridge Centennial Hall sa Martinsville, Saskatchewan po. For more information, we can visit or like us on Facebook, Saskatchewan Fashion Show. Marami po kaming hinandang mga pasabog sa event na ito. Hindi lang rampa, hindi lang marami po. So, tickets includes a complimentary drink as well. At marami po pong ibang sorpresa sa event na to. So, sana po supportahan po natin ang first Saskatchewan Fashion Show event.
So Chris, tell us more para sa ating mga televiewers dito. Paano ka ba nag-start as a model or ano ba ang reasons mo? Why did you put up this event?
Actually, since when I was young, I do love photo shooting and everything. I like posing in front of the camera, especially acting. So nagsimula ako nito dahil parang hilig ko talaga yung makita sa mga kababayan natin. Yung pagkatao ko ba? At sa ngayon, binabahagi ko rin itong experience ko sa mga kaibigan natin Pilipino na nagbabalak maging isang modelo, maging isang artista. Hindi natin masabi, malay natin, hindi ba? Ang sa amin, gusto namin i-share ang knowledge namin sa pagmamodelo tulad ko. Basta, maging pay attention tayo, no? Disiplina. Kung gusto mo talaga maging model, pay attention all the time, listen, and do your best.
So Weng, ano ba ang at stake sa mga winners nitong event na ito?
Meron tayong cash prizes, trophies, cash, at importante sa lahat yung ating workshop with She Modeling in Toronto. So, maraming at stake.
Wow, talaga naman ba? Worth it naman pala talaga yung mga mananalo dito sa event na ito, no? Free modeling contract siguro, and then get a chance to compete sa Toronto. At the same time, ma-coach ni, siyempre, Chris, so isa sa mga model dito sa Saskatoon. Well, thank you very much, Weng, and thank you, Chris. So, yeah, supportahan po natin ang kauna-unahang Saskatchewan Fashion Show event. support our local talents, especially sa mga kabataan na nandito sa likod ko ngayon. So, I'll see you there. Today, we have witnessed the story of our kababayans who are happily married with their non-Filipino partners. Nakita rin natin ang mga challenges ng kanilang pagsasama in terms of their love, patience, and understanding for each other, and that strengthens their relationship.
That's true, Ernest. As a married man kasi, alam ko yung mga pagsubok na pinagdadaanan ng mga yan. So, I admire these couples, lalo na sa kabila ng kanilang differences like race, culture, and languages, nakuha pa rin nila na magsama ng maayos sa kabila ng kanilang pagkakaiba.
I agree with that, Dex, ano? Doon sa Jerry, doon sa pag-uusap namin ni Bob at ni Dina, may nabanggit doon na medyo matagal daw yung processing ng ang tawag nito? Kapag fiancé visa. What's the normal process involved?
Well, basically kasi ang love life ay iba-iba rin. So, iba-iba rin ang processing. So, mayroong mga mas madali ang processing dahil kasal sila, walang komplikasyon. Mayroon din mga cases na kasal sa iba at nagsasama sa may iba na silang pamilya. So depende talaga sa sitwasyon. Pero isang tip lang na laging problema ng mga kliyenteng lumalapit sa akin ay nagde-divorce sila para makuha ng ng Canadian resident or Canadian citizen yung kanilang partner. Sa case ng immigration, hindi mo kailangan mag-divorce. So, unang-una, sa case ng Pilipinas, hindi ino-honor yung divorce. Number one konsepto, kapag dito sa Canada, bawal ang polygamous marriage. So, dalawang option ang pwedeng gawin ng isang tao o isang couple na nasa sitwasyon na kasal ang isa sa ibang partner dati. Una ay kasal sa Pilipinas, may option na ipangal. Then saka mag-sponsor. That's option number one. Option number two, ito lagi pagkakamali nila, nagpapile kagad sila ng divorce. Kasi bali mo na yung divorce kasi hindi nga ino-honor sa Pilipinas. So ang ginagawa doon, i-sponsor mo yung partner as a couple. Hindi bilang kasal na couple.
Pag-explain mo yung common law.
Okay. Sa definition ng immigration, dalawang klase ang common law. Ang common law, yung regular common law na tinatawag, couple na nagsama ng at least 1 year,
hindi kasal.
Hindi kasal.
As long as they stay in one house.
The idea is one house, that's what we call cohabitation. Pero mas may malalim pa doon. Dapat mapatunayan na nagsama kayo ng iyong financial affairs. So, hindi lang basta sa isang bahay kasi pwede naman magka-boardmate kami ni Maria, pero hindi naman kami magkarelasyon. So, kailangan mapakita yan sa larangan ng insurance, mapakita ng
mga bills, tama ba?
Sa mga bills, sa mga bank accounts, kailangan ma-share. So, balik tayo dun sa processing. Mas mabilis ang processing in general kapag outside Canada. Kasi ang konsepto nun ay nasa Canada na kayo eh. So wala kayong bigger need na magkasama. Okay, since nasa Canada kayo, lesser in priority doon sa application. So but again, tulad ng iba-ibang love story, iba-iba rin ang processing.
That's true. Kumaga, different applicants, they have different situations.
Different applicants, different situation.
Yeah.
Salamat Jeric.
That's a good information sa mga tao na may mga kailangan ng ganung klaseng information. They can easily contact us at info@filipinobusiness.com. So, diba?
Okay, so magpapasalamat tayo sa ating mga guests ngayon sa episode na to, no?
Maraming salamat.
Si Bob at si Dina sa Colonce. Maraming salamat. Of course si Craig and Marie Chris at pinaunlakan nila yung aming interview. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat sa inyo at nagpapasalamat din kami sa mga sponsors natin, ang yung Super Fresh Asian Market dun sa 516 Clarence Avenue yan. Siya nagbigay sa atin ng ingredients the last episode.
Okay.
Medyo nakasasayang ko.
Tama. At nagpapasalamat din
Salamat Super Fresh. Sorry.
Thank you Super Fresh. Thank you so much po. At nagpapasalamat din po kami sa Mama's Best, syempre.
Of course, lagi.
Sa napakasarap po na kwek-kwek
at pagkain na ginanakinain natin kanina.
Of course, wag din natin kalimutan na mga Kapinoy Channel, yung mga volunteer naman natin behind the scenes. Of course, unahin natin si Joanne, si Ate Maita,
Right Brain, ang ating bagong creatives, ano? Right Brain staff, ang galing, ano? Yes.
Maraming salamat.
At sa mga tao, sa ating po mga Kapinoy Channel na na-miss nyo po ang episode ng Pinoy Channel at iba pang mga episodes nung nakaraan, pumunta lamang po kayo sa aming official Facebook page sa facebook.com/Pinoy Channel SK or mangyari po lamang na pumunta po sa aming official website at www.filipinobusinessclub.com para po malaman nyo ang latest updates sa aming mga episode.
Paano na?
Okay. Pabebe.
Alright, so ano pa ba?
Paano ba tayo magtatapos?
Tapos na tayo. Halika na kasi magkakaroon na gabi. Ang dami ng lamok.
Ang dami ng malamok na actually sa River Landing. So,
alright, so as usual, so sa mga Pilipino na antabay po sa ating subaybayan niyo po ang aming mga episodes, lalong-lalo na ang susunod nating episode because that will be a great with a great team with the Right Brain Creatives po. So, muli ako po si Dex Eliseo.
Ako po si Joey Amor.
Ako po si Jeric Mendoza.
At ako po si Ernest.
At ako po si Isagani Fabi. Hanggang sa susunod, ito po ang inyong
Pinoy Channel!